Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Latanya Woodson Mayfield, a proud Crowley ISD school board member and a breast cancer survivor. This week, we're highlighting just a few of the breast cancer survivor stories in our Crowley ISD family. And today, we're excited to speak with Christine Mares. She serves as account secretary at the Bill R. Johnson CTE Center, and she's a breast cancer survivor. We're so thankful she's here to share her story with us. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you for having me.
We've spoken many times about our journeys. So
Yes.
For the benefit of others who may not know your story, can you share how your journey began?
Yes, so my journey began in December of 2020. I went for my annual mammogram, and I received a phone call a couple of days later saying that there was an area of concern. And so I had to return back to get a second mammogram. And that was in January. And so late January, I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma. And that's the start of my journey.
Wow. So what was your reaction? I know hearing the news, what was your initial reaction?
Fear, anxiety. I was scared. No one has had breast cancer in my family. And so when I received that news over a phone call, I got very anxious and very scared. I remember going into Dr. Warfield's office, and the first words that came out of my mouth is, "I don't want to die." And she hugged me and said, "We're not going to speak those words." And she immediately started praying with me. And the rest is history. I feel God's presence, and I received peace that afternoon in her office. And so it was very calming.
Very nice. And you mentioned Dr. Warfield embracing you and sharing. How were others in your life, or how did they respond? How did you reach out to them or notify them, and what was the reaction from others?
Well, Dr. Warfield and I had a conversation about how we were going to deal with this in the staff. And so our immediate thing was to just go ahead and be open and let everybody know, because the last thing I wanted was a pity party. And so she gave me a day, for myself, and so I could just be able to absorb all the news, tell my family. And then after that, we sent out an email and had a staff meeting. And I was embraced by everyone at the CTE Center. I mean, it became instant love. I was amazed and blessed by how all our staff reacted. I mean, I cannot ask for anything better.
Definitely. And you mentioned family, so being around family at work.
Yes, my work family.
Your work family, that means a lot. Can you share a little bit about your treatment journey? What was that like for you?
So in February, I ended up having a double mastectomy and reconstruction, and I started my chemo treatments in March. And I ended up with 16 treatments, what they called preventative care, because I had lymph nodes removed and they were clear. So I ended up finishing my chemo in July.
Tell us a little bit more about the type of breast cancer you were diagnosed with.
So I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer, which is one of the most aggressive cancers that you could possibly get. And had it not been for me sticking to my annual exams, I don't think that I would have been able to survive it, because when I was first diagnosed, I was a stage 0. And less than a month later, when I had surgery, I was already a stage 1. And so I feel that, not everybody goes through the same journey. Not everybody has the same type of cancer, but there are some cancers that are more aggressive that need immediate attention. And if we don't take that time to go and get exams, then we'll never find out, because I didn't feel a lump. There was no signs that I had cancer.
With no signs, what was that like for you?
It was very scary, because when they told me they found an area of concern, I thought maybe I had a cyst. And then when I went for my biopsy, I was looking at the screen and I could see dark area. And I was like, is that cancer? Because again, it doesn't run in my family, so I just assumed I should be good. And when I actually got the news, I was shocked and scared, but also fearful for my children because I knew it wasn't hereditary, but I was like, I have a rare type of cancer or a cancer that is not very detectable unless, you get your mammograms. And so it was very scary for me. I know that my breast surgeon, when I had my exam, she could not feel a lump either. I had it on my left side behind a lot of breast tissue, and because I had density in my tissue, that made it difficult as well. So by the time I would have felt the lump, it probably would have been too late.
Wow. And what thoughts do you have now, just kind of looking back?
Going through chemo and sitting there for 2 hours, you put life into perspective. And I've said this before that I thought I was smarter than this, and I had never finished college. And so Crowley ISD actually gave me an opportunity and I received a grant through Crowley ISD to go back to school. So I told my family that as soon as I was done with chemo, if God allowed me the opportunity, that I would go back. And so I was able to go back, and I graduated a year and a half ago with my bachelor's in organizational leadership. And it's been amazing. I mean, I have received so many blessings throughout my journey that even though I say it was a tough journey, I wouldn't have changed anything about my journey.
Wow, wonderful. And congratulations. I remember the big announcement. Congratulations. Such an accomplishment,
Yes.
especially after going through. You do get a different perspective and an outlook.
Definitely.
What would you like to share to others who have gone through, are going through, who are nervous about maybe even getting tested or seen by a doctor because of what the news may be? What would you like to share?
Well, my daughter gave me some wise words, very encouraging. She said, "Mom, cancer is not a death sentence." And I know that a lot of times we fear that when we get that news that we're automatically going to die, because I know I felt that way. But being cancer-free almost 4 years has shown me that it doesn't have to be a death sentence, and it's a mindset. And I think that if we just take it day by day, even though everybody's journey is going to be different and look different, I think that it's doable.
Absolutely. And is there anything that you're doing today, as it relates to your journey, sharing your story?
So I just want everybody to know that, go get your annual exams. As educators, like I've mentioned before, we tend to wait for everything in the summertime. But had I waited, I probably wouldn't be sitting in this chair today.
I think that's a wonderful, wonderful message. And it resonates with so many people. I do also appreciate you sharing your story about the Crowley ISD family and embracing you during your time and continuing to support you.
Yes, they do.
Anything else you'd like to share that would help someone?
There's a lot of resources out there that a lot of individuals don't know about. And I think that we, as walking testimonies and advocates, we need to make sure that people are aware that, you might not have insurance, but there might be a grant that they can be allowed, to get a mammogram. And just sticking to your annual routine, self-care, that's very important. And just knowing that this is beatable. I mean, we're survivors for a reason. And I feel that if we can pass that message along and have one person hear us, I think that we've done our job.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
It's appreciative, and I'm sure it's an inspiration to so many people. Even if they were thinking about it, I'm pretty sure they're going to make the move and make that appointment.
Yes, I hope so, because it could save them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Christine. In Crowley ISD, we're a family, and we take care of each other. That's why we're sharing stories like Christine's, and it's why we hope you'll visit our website to find more information and resources about breast cancer. You'll also find a place there to honor those who have been impacted by this disease. Together, let's continue to fight and continue to hope.